All right, welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a little while since I've done any type of video. Um, Today I'm going to do, this is kind of a beginner's woodworking tool, but it can really make your projects a heck of a lot better. These are plug cutters. These are by Cobalt. They come in a set of 3. They're cheap. They're only about $40, but if you have a project like this one, that I'll just show you real quick. This is just a blanket ladder I'm making for a friend, and I did use screws to assemble it. You simply countersink them. In this case, I drilled 3/8 holes. You know, you can use pine, whatever you want with these plug cutters, and then you just fill them in, and then it looks like it was dowel pinned together. It's just a quick way to make your projects look a lot better. I'm actually going to use this scrap piece of walnut. This is actually 2 pieces of walnut that were glued together, but I should be able to get clean cuts out of it along this edge or even along this one, or possibly even straight down, because I need 20 of these total. Oh, I got a bulb flickering. Yeah, so this just goes in your drill. These ones happen to have this little pin on them, which makes them self-centering. So you can use just a regular drill. Most of them don't have this and you need a drill press, but these ones kind of caught my eye at Lowe's, which I don't buy much there, but after they caught my eye, I decided to go with it. That's gonna drive me nuts. All right, seems like that's squared away. So you do need an impact driver on the end because these have that hex head bit. So just gonna show you how we do this real quick. And I need to cut 20 of these total. Let me make sure this is an area you guys can see. That should do. And I'll go through this end because it's a little smoother. But they don't have to be perfect. And these are spring loaded. So I get it spinning lightly and then just gradually press it down. And after you get down in, it kind of looks like this. It basically just bores out around it. Then you just take a flat screwdriver or something along those lines and pop it free. Let me see if I have one. You would think I do. So, just kind of stick that in there like this. Make sure you guys can see that. And give it a little pop. Oop. There it goes. You end up with this right here. This is just a little walnut plug. Then I'm just going to take you over to the blanket ladder here. Let me just grab some glue real quick. And this is a blanket ladder. It's not anything special, so I'm just using regular old Type Bond original. Don't need really expensive wood glue to hold this thing because it's not, you know, any type of major project or anything. It's actually a free gift for a friend. And that light is gonna drive me nuts. All right, let's get this glue down. So, and what I do first is I always like push this roughness in there. This is pine. It tends to sand a little rough. But I just squeeze a little glue in there and wipe it up on that. And you are going to need a mallet and get that kind of in line as best you can. I would tighten up a little bit. And this is just a wood mallet that I made a while back. All right, and you just let that dry, and within about 3 or 4 hours, after you filled them all, you just come across with your flush trim saw and trim them flush. And that's actually what I'm gonna do after I cut about 20 more of these. All right, so that's basically what a plug cutter does. I got all 20 of them cut and glued in. And it basically just makes it look like you use dowels to assemble something when you actually use screws and just filled it in. And here's my piece of walnut. Had to do a few out of the top. So yeah, then in a couple hours when that dries, you just come back with a flush cut saw. Whoa, you don't knock it over. You come back with a flush cut saw and buzz them flat and sand it. And I'll actually show you guys that as soon as this dries up. All right, it's the next day. We are back out here. These plugs have all dried up, all the glue. So now you just got to cut them flush and then sand them. I always put a little piece of tape here just so the teeth on the back side of the saw don't dig in. But it's real simple. Just you kind of want to go one at a time. You might be able to get away with two, but just a quick cut through them. I need a sharper saw. All right. So not perfectly smooth, you still got to sand it, but that's essentially what you're going for. Got my finger with the saw a little bit there. And then I'll just do the same on this one. All right. So the reason I do the tape is because the saw does beat up the wood, and you can see it still did a little bit there. A lot of people will use playing cards, stuff like that. I just use tape, but I should be able to sand the rest of that out. All right, I'm gonna try to get a little closer here so you guys can see this, but once you have your plugs cut off, all you have to do is sand it flush. This is pine, so I try not to go any rougher than 80 on it. You could maybe get away with 60, but... There it is. That was only about 30 seconds with the sander. I'll see if I can get this a little closer for you. Maybe I gotta pop it out. There we go. All right, take a look. Now it just looks like it's doweled together. And obviously you gotta do that for all the other ones too, and sand the entire thing. But, I mean, $30 plug cutter can really change your entire woodworking game. It makes everything just look so much better. So, I don't know. I mean, for the price, I do have a doweling jig and everything too, but I find for things that aren't really structural and some small 1-inch screws will work, that these are a nice way to cover them up, and you can even add some accents with them. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed this. This is going to be a lot shorter than my other ones, but that's how it goes. And then, you know, of course, I just got to cut the rest of these off. And I think this one's finally ready to be thrown away. I tend to keep all my scrap wood, but not much good I can really do with this. Might be able to cut a few more out of it. We'll see. Alright, so here it is, finished product. Just take a look at the walnut in there on the pine. And I know it's not a huge thing, but I think pretty much everybody would agree that that looks way nicer than just having screws in there. So I use this thing quite often. They're a beginner's tool, they're cheap, and it really brings all your woodworking right to the next level. So, yeah, just a cheap little blanket ladder I made for some friends. We got to deliver it next weekend. So if you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I'll try to do some more tool reviews too, because I'm running out of things to build.